There's a reason the Great War still fascinates historians and survivalists alike. Beneath the mud, the artillery blasts and the endless stalemates, the First World War was, honestly, a laboratory of desperate innovation. Soldiers had to solve problems fast, with almost nothing but what hung from their shoulders or sat inside a battered haversack. And out of those brutal conditions came one of the least glamorous but most life-saving gear hacks ever issued to a fighting force. It wasn't a new weapon. It wasn't a clever explosive. It was a quiet, almost overlooked piece of kit that transformed how men endured the filth, disease and trench rot that, well, claimed more soldiers than enemy fire. This forgotten piece of trench gear was simple, brutally effective, and honestly still valuable today for anyone who hikes, camps, homesteads, or preps. Stay with me, because once you know the trick behind it, you'll start seeing modern survival gear through an entirely different lens. The gear hack was the humble yet revolutionary First World War trench foot prevention system. In the early months of the war, thousands of soldiers were immobilized by trench foot. Imagine standing in cold water for days, your boots soaked, your socks rotting, and your skin breaking down until it literally peeled away. Trench foot didn't just hurt, it crippled entire battalions. The Allied High Command finally realized that surviving the trenches depended less on rifles and more on foot care. So they issued what became one of the most important gear protocols of the war, the daily foot care and sock rotation kit. It consisted of 3 simple elements: dry socks carried inside a waterproof bag, whale oil or grease applied to the feet each day, and a strict buddy system to ensure soldiers actually followed the routine. This wasn't optional guidance. This was as important as cleaning a rifle. And it worked so well that trench foot cases dropped dramatically within just a few months. Why this mattered more than weapons when the front lines turned into rivers of cold mud. Trenches weren't just wet, they were ecosystems of rot. The walls bled water, the ground swallowed boots, and the cold forced moisture deep into every layer of clothing. The foot kit acted as a barrier between soldiers and an environment that was, honestly, actively trying to destroy them. Grease sealed the skin, locking out moisture. Dry socks restored circulation. The waterproof bag protected crucial fabric from humidity. And the enforced partner system ensured 2 sets of eyes watched each other's health. Modern armies still use nearly the exact same method in cold, wet conditions. Nothing better has come along. When something is that effective for over a century, that's not chance. That's survival science. This gear hack evolved into the foundation of modern outdoor foot survival. Today, that same principle shows up in moisture-wicking layers, waterproof sock liners, insulated boots, foot powders, and antifungal creams. Even high-end mountaineering teams rely on the same routine rotate dry socks, protect the skin, and create a moisture barrier. When you see a soldier today carrying multiple socks in sealed bags, or a backpacker keeping one pair reserved only for sleeping, well, that's the World War I trench system still in action. The hack wasn't the gear itself. It was the discipline to maintain a routine even when exhausted, soaked and freezing. That discipline kept men alive. Here's how the same system can be applied in modern outdoor or homestead settings. Start with a simple waterproof pouch. It could be a zip bag, a roll-top dry sack, or even a waxed canvas envelope that's been treated with oil. Inside it, keep at least one pair of fully dry socks, reserved only for restoring your feet after a wet day. Next, use a moisture-blocking layer. Rather than whale oil, a light coating of petroleum jelly, lanolin or foot balm will protect your skin from maceration during long exposure. At the end of each day, wash your feet if possible, dry them thoroughly, and apply a thin layer of protectant. Then rotate into the dry socks from the pouch. This keeps your skin intact and your circulation strong. You can take it further by copying the trench system's buddy method. If you hike or camp with others, do foot checks. It sounds a bit tedious, but it actually prevents injuries that otherwise appear only when it's too late. And if you work long hours on a homestead or farm in wet seasons, use the same daily maintenance routine. It really does stop blisters, fungal infections, cold weather injuries, and fatigue. Even in urban preparedness, rotating socks and sealing one clean pair in your go bag can make a massive difference during evacuations, long treks, or periods when, staying dry just isn't an option. The deeper lesson is that survival depends on protecting the weakest link. During the First World War, commanders quickly realized that, the rifle meant nothing if a soldier couldn't walk. Today, preppers and outdoor enthusiasts often, obsess over knives, ferro rods, tents, or even fancy boots. Yet, if your feet fail, everything collapses. The trench gear hack teaches the same principle across your entire kit. Find the weakest point, then build a simple maintenance system around it. For water storage, it might mean rotating containers to prevent algae growth. For tools, it might mean regular oiling and sharpening. For clothing, it might mean storing backups in waterproof layers. The soldiers who survived the trenches weren't the strongest. They were the ones who respected small routines. When history gives you a trick this practical, you really don't leave it in the past. The trench foot prevention system is still one of the most adaptable survival lessons ever taught. It is cheap, repeatable, requires almost no equipment, and protects the body's most essential mobility system. And honestly, the truth is, many modern outdoor failures happen because people don't maintain the basics. Mud, sweat, cold and long miles still cause the same problems they caused in 1916. The only difference is that we now know the solution works. If you want more deep-dive history mechanics, practical field hacks and forgotten wisdom that still matters today, make sure you subscribe to Backyard Wisdom and share this video with another history lover or survival-minded friend.